Hello there, and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends, and yet to another Pokemon Unite video. And today's special because a brand new Pokemon has landed within the game. Blissey is looking like one of the best supports, meta-defining characters, and I spent the majority of my night playing ranked games, testing her out, testing out all of her movesets, bringing her into practice mode, and really learning everything that I can to bring you guys a day one Master in Depth guide. Now, if you're the type of player that just loves supports and wants to see how Blissey does on day one, you have come to the right place. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the following. We've got the Blissey basics. We're going to be covering all of the main things that make Blissey work the way she does, her movesets, and the best builds that I have found on day one. Really excited about some of the stuff that we have found, and just a lot of it is bonkers, if we're being honest. We're going to be talking about the laning and where I think she works best and what kind of game flow that you should have with her, the best held and battle items that I have found thus far, and then most importantly, guys, tips and tricks and what Pokemon does she best synergize with. So we've got a lot to get to. Strap up, get ready, and let's start today's video. So, as you guys know, Blissey and Chansey are both notoriously known within Pokemon for having some of the highest health pools and survivability amongst the franchise. Now, is that going to translate over to Pokemon Unite? Well, let's go ahead and jump and start this guide off with the Blissey basics. Taking a look at Blissey, she is going to be a support type Pokemon to no surprise, who is going to be a melee attacker, and they say that her difficulty is pretty dang easy. I don't know if that's because she's a healer or if they just kind of deem that. They kind of get some of those right and sometimes not so much. But taking a look, guys, as you guys can see, you're going to be evolving from Chansey that you find in the Safari Zone that so many of us could not find within the franchise, and evolve at level 4. So just like Ninetales, you're going to have a very quick evolve state, which, you know, just gives you that momentum, makes you feel strong in lane, and very easily you can get up to that evolve form. Now, taking a look at Blissey's basic attack, it's a little different than ones we've seen in the past, because rather than hitting 3 times or 4 times to get that boosted attack, after a set amount of time, Blissey is then going to get the boosted attack, which is a nice sight to see. It's something a little bit different, and I like that it shows that they have a little bit of creativity when it comes to each and every Pokemon and how to build them. Now, one last quick note about the basic attack with Chansey and Blissey is that it really packs a punch, and a lot of the moves synergize to make it hit a lot harder. And so make sure you guys really understand the kids. But the basic attack, don't sleep on it. You can see me just whacking the crap out of these Apoms, guys, and it really starts to stack up on team fights. And, you know, don't be afraid to do that damage with Blissey's basic. Now, as you can see above, looking at Blissey's passive, you are going to be this constant status effect cleansing machine on herself. Now, can act like some of the items where it's going to go on a cooldown after it's been used, but Blissey is going to be extremely hard, and you'll see through today's video how hard it is to truly crowd control this Pokemon. I love this, that you've got Eldegoss as this master kind of healer who can do a little bit of damage, and then you've got Blissey who, you know, was chosen to be in the Pokemon Center for a reason by Nintendo, is truly that master healer of status effects and health. I just absolutely love Blissey's kit, and especially in the early game. Let's take a look at those early moves, starting off with Pound and Heal Pulse. Now, Heal Pulse, on the other hand, is incredible. You're starting the match with a healing ability that's going to give you amazing sustain and survivability within the lanes. Pair it up with Ninetales, and it's just a nightmare to try to get through a lane with that much healing and that much sustainability. In my own opinion, as well as some others that I have talked to, Soft Boiled is definitely going to be the one you most likely want to go with. I do think that Safeguard does have a great option when you're going against maybe Dreadnought and you don't get that knock up, as you can see here, but Soft Boiled is going to keep you in the fight that much longer, and that early lane presence is just amazing. Coming at you with a very quick tip for Soft Boil, you don't always want to use it as fast as you can. Let that baby build up, stock up those eggs. It does take a little bit of time to charge it up. Those 2 seconds are not to really get the eggs. It takes a little bit longer than that. So while you're fighting, just be sure to slap things around and, you know, let them store up for the next team fight or big objective push. Taking a look at Safeguard, y'all, it's going to have an 11-second cooldown compared to the often soft-boiled. Now, you will be able to remove all status conditions from your ally, but it doesn't seem like it lasts all that long. I can see it having some uses, and you can really build some comps around it, but you're probably going to want that healing 9 times out of 10, especially in the matches that I played as Blissey. Pound has the user attack by pounding in the designated area, dealing damage to the opposing Pokemon in the area of effect. Now, on top of that, it's going to be decreasing the movement speed for a short time, so it's going to be good to get those early lane clears with Blissey. I like them both in my testing. Heal Pulse is probably the way to go just to keep that sustain going, but you can't go wrong with either one depending on what you're trying to do. This is where things start to get a little caliente, a little spicy, excellent, if you will. And we're going to start off looking at Helping Hand. You're going to be greatly increasing not only Blissey's, but all nearby allied Pokemon's movement speed on top of a basic attack speed. Here's a side-by-side of what you're going to see, how fast they go with the boost and without the boost. And while this move is in effect, all of my basics as Blissey's basics are going to be boosted attacks. You're going to also be able to upgrade this to increase the damage of the basic attacks as long as this lasts. So it's just like a berry walking machine. You've got the green berries, you've got the healing berries, and let's face it, the berries are the true MVPs of every match. Now, taking a look on the other side of things, we have Egg Bomb. That's for, again, a little bit more of an offensive Blissey. And Egg Bomb is like a lot of moves we've seen in the game. It's going to throw an egg in a designated area, slowing down the Pokemon that it lands on for a period of time. I definitely prefer Helping Hand, but if you need a little more damage and, you want to roll that route, you could go Egg Bomb, but I prefer that max supporting Blissey on my hands. Now, one important thing to note here, guys, is that Blissey is a lot like Ninetales in the sense that it comes online very, very early. From level 4 to the evolving to Blissey, and then level 6, you get that next set of moves. Now, we're about to get to builds in just a second, but we've got to talk about her Unite move, which is Bliss Assistance. This thing is an absolute monster of a Unite move. First and foremost, you're going to dash to an allied Pokemon, giving shield and upping special attack and regular attack. In addition, you're going to be able to intercept some of the damage that they take, which is absolutely clutch in those big team fights. And then, lastly, if that's not enough, you're going to be throwing enemy Pokemon up. It's absolutely crazy. And what I love about that is, I think there's a lot of strategic play that you can do with this. You can go right past the enemy team, do a 3 or a 180, not a 360, and bam, rush it, giving yourself a massive advantage, providing CC, health, and stat boost. And then it's a whole lot. I mean, check out some of these clips of me using it. It just continually does the job, throws the enemies way off. And, some Pokemon feel like they have Unite moves that aren't so great. Blissey definitely does not suffer from that problem. Alrighty, moving on to builds. Pretty excited to talk about my favorite builds thus far, and I think there's one that most people are going to agree on. Really, though, you're going to have the pure, amazing health and support Blissey, and then you're going to have the support with a little bit of damage. I'm going to say right off the bat, guys, the healing that Blissey can do is insane. I averaged about 80,000 healing per game in ranked gameplay very easily and very consistently, and that's some of the most that we've seen by far in the game, kind of reminding me of pre-nerf Eldegoss. Now, looking at the builds and what I like the best, again, Pound, Heal Pulse, you're going to get them both very fast. Don't worry about this one. Pound to clear the lane, and Heal Pulse will come a little faster. And then you've got level 4, like we've talked about. I'm going to go ahead and pick Soft Boiled just about every single time. The Safeguard Shield is a ton for team fights. You can't sleep on that, but it only comes on the upgrade, whereas Soft Boil, just the healing and the sustain, you can't match. So I'm going to go with Soft Boiled, and I'm going to pair that up personally with Helping Hand. Go max support, follow and be around your biggest damage dealers, and you're just going to amp them up to get damage numbers that have not been possible thus far. So definitely, I like to have the Soft Boiled mixed with the Helping Hand. Or if you want to go with a little bit more damage, you can do Soft Boiled with Egg Bomb. 9 times out of 10, that's probably what I will pick. Helping Hand and Safeguard can work a little bit if you maybe have some great kind of self-healing people like Greninja and Zeraora. But I gotta say, once you have Greninja with Surf or Water Shuriken, because it's so much better, pairing that up with Blissey just seems like he never fades in health. It's absolutely crazy. You can see from this clip here, I just roll on in, score some points, ignore everybody, do some damage, heal up over and over, and if I don't have an ally near me, then I can just heal myself. But I always try to find someone to throw one of those soft-boiled eggs to and have it stored up for every team fight. So this graphic here is going to show my favorite builds from Chansey and Blissey so far, and I don't see it changing all that much. Very simplistic Pokemon in sense of what you do, but altogether, I think you need to aim a bit more compared to maybe Eldegoss. And yes, it'll be easy at kind of a beginner level, but I think Blissey actually has somewhat of a high ceiling. Let's move right along and talk about held and battle items on Blissey. This one's not going to be too crazy. Really pretty much have it set in stone here. We're going to start off with the held items coming a little bit more important. And yes, nothing got nerfed, nothing got changed. So Score Shield, Buddy Barrier, and Focus Band are probably the most meaty and healthy builds for Blissey, with Score Shield maybe being the most replaceable on the team. Buddy Barrier is just obviously amazing. You should be running it on the majority of your Pokemon. Focus Band just makes it extra tough to get through Blissey. Her defense isn't crazy, and this adds to that a little bit more. And you combine this with Soft Boil, you're going to just keep on ticking up that health. Now, if you find yourself not needing Score Shield, I do like myself running an XP share on Blissey. I think it works pretty well altogether, and you don't have to have these maxed out or anything like that. But I like that you can share that XP. As long as you're on a 5-man stack, XP share is going to fit perfectly for Blissey. Movement speed's a little bit increased to get that healing out there and that support of more. And then just more and more HP, which Blissey just can't seem to get enough of. So these are going to be the items for sure that I would run. If you don't have those leveled up, you could maybe get away with something like Shell Bell, or if you want to just go and full troll, you could do like Muscle Band with the boosted attacks for a little extra surprise damage. May not be the worst way to go, but altogether, that is going to be the main held items for Blissey. As for battle items, there was some nerfs and buffs to a lot of the eject here, but eject button, even at 70 seconds, is still definitely going to be the choice for my Blissey, as you don't have a ton of mobility, and this kind of gets you out of that pinch. Or if you need to quickly get to a teammate and do some healing with Soft Boil, I found this to be the most useful throughout my ranked gameplays. Pretty easy here, nothing too crazy. Definitely eject button is still the way to go. Alrighty, now before we wrap this guide up with tips and Pokemon synergy and just some things that I found during my gameplay, guys, if you want to see more Pokemon Unite content, or if you haven't checked out the Pokemon Unite talk show, we've had some great content creators on like Spraggles and like Crashy. So if you guys want to, and it really helps out the channel, and you want to see more in-depth guides, go ahead and subscribe today, guys. Like the video. In addition to that, comment down below, what team comp do you think Blissey is going to fit best with? Now, let's go ahead and move on to the tips and tricks with Blissey. I found out a couple things while I was using her more and more, starting off with her Unite move. For the Unite move, you're not going to be able to target any of the enemies unless a teammate is there to dash to. This is important, and you always want to aim for your teammates that are kind of in the middle of the team fight so that you can dash, knock up those Pokemon, protect that teammate that's getting injured, and you kind of make the most use of that Unite move. The next tip is going to go for a couple of Blissey's abilities, starting off with Soft Boil like we talked about. Let those eggs heal up for the big team fight. You are focused around your teammates first, and then the enemies and the wild Pokemon second. Just keep on pushing out that support. You can out-sustain a lot of the characters if you just focus on doing your job as a support. So with Helping Hand, make sure you initiate that with as many people as possible around you. Boost up that movement speed and get them to the objective, especially if you had someone die, maybe even go back a little bit, help them out, get to the team fight that much faster. And the last tip that we have is Blissey is just all about that healing. So let's look at some Pokemon synergy that Blissey works best with, especially in the bottom lane. I think Wigglytuff still really does a lot for being a support and really providing that damage too. Blissey, though, has a ton of sustain and just can keep your whole team in the fight a bit more than the Wigglytuff can. However, let's talk about some other teammates they do well with. Pikachu, Greninja, and Cinderace are obvious as you can speed them up so incredibly fast. And the best thing about Blissey is you don't even have to worry about having that full heal on Cinderace and burning an item spot, as Blissey is just going to provide that support. Now, other characters that I like Blissey with are some of the weaker ones. If you like running Gardevoir or Garchomp, you can keep them alive a little bit longer with Blissey and help them out in lane, not get bullied all too much. Garchomp and Blissey provide a ton of attack speed, a ton of attack and sustain, and like I said before, pairing Blissey up with characters that can restore their health through moves like Surf or Zeraora with the passive, I think Blissey works great with those Pokemon. Alrighty, my friends. Well, thank you so much for checking out the Master Blissey guide. Hopefully, you guys learned and saw what you need to know to use Blissey on the battlefield, take her into battle, and start climbing up rank. She's going to be great for solo queue to help out your team around you. Stick with that carry, help them out. Let me know down in the comments below if you learned something new from this guide. Would love to play with you guys, and come check out the stream, guys, on Twitch. I stream every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Cozy Gamer. My friends, thank you so much for choosing to watch this channel. If you want to see more in-depth guides for future Pokemon, we've got a lot more coming. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, stay cozy.